I thought you was coming to say something.
Got to straighten the camera up a little bit.
You want to open your card?
No, bring. Oh no, I'm good.
You said do what?
I said I'm good.
No, I thought you was about to say bring something.
I was, but tips is what I was gonna say.
You didn't put in on that?
I just want to get it going because they ain't white. Oh, babe, get the tones.
Why you can't go get the tones? Get off me.
I love you.
It is Nick Cannon's birthday.
Oh,
It's a lot of Libras.
Yep.
Give me my water. Let's switch. We back, y'all.
What we gonna talk
Clearly.
about?
I don't know. Which one to talk about?
Do you gotta put a disclaimer in?
For what?
Hookah.
No smoking if you are 21. If you are not 21 or older. I'll try to put that down at the bottom if I remember. So what we doing tomorrow? Shay disclosed that we are doing something, but she won't tell me.
We're going somewhere. You're the about in the night.
I know about it, so you could just tell me now.
Because I don't know specifics. Oh, your
Okay.
puff big.
I'm the real Puff Daddy. Is that what he say?
I don't give a damn how you get. As long as you let me hit it first.
No, he didn't say first.
Yes, it
He
is.
just said as long as you let me hit it.
First.
He didn't say first. We could watch the
Okay.
movie tonight.
Okay, so you gonna test.
I am, because
Okay.
that's my favorite Friday.
Okay, hold.
You want to bet? Let's bet some money. Let's bet some money while we on camera, so that I can win my money. Because I know this for a fact. You want to bet? You want to take a gamble?
Let's do a gunshot. Is that what they call it?
I done told you don't do that with hookah, with tobacco products. No.
What difference does it make?
It's a big difference. And it's called a shotgun. What you called it? Gunshot. You don't do that with tobacco products. And you would be blowing, you're actually blowing it into someone's mouth. But you don't, I don't want the smoke out of your mouth in my mouth. It's not how it works.
And then war for the champion.
You know,
This not the average topic you would have over hookah. But I think, anytime is a good time to talk about healing and
I'm glad you feel like that now, because I think there was a point in time where it felt like we couldn't really get into it. Like, it's like we all know, like everybody knows, especially in the black community, everybody knows that they have like some sort of childhood trauma. Like, it extends back to slavery, of course. So we all have some sort of childhood trauma. Nobody's life was perfect. But not everybody is always comfortable with digging into their childhood trauma. Some things are just so traumatic. It's like, bruh, I don't want to have to relive that. I don't want to have to talk about that.
yeah. And most people don't bring up trauma until something bad happens, like a death, an accident, you know, whatever the case is.
Family fallout.
Family feud, a personal loss
Yeah.
in any form, shape, or fashion, financial issues. Like, it's okay to talk about trauma when things are okay.
Yeah.
Because that way you can really dissect the trauma, understand the trauma, appreciate the trauma. That's another thing a lot of people don't appreciate. Do we want to go through trauma? No. But it is what? Geek. Ugh. Y'all used to dance to that?
Yeah.
Thought you might have been too old at the time.
No, I was definitely very much in college. Was I in college? Or was it still playing?
No, you was in college. No, you was in college.
I dropped my tip. God dog it.
5-second rule. Ain't that what you say?
No, we out here on
Preach
the deck.
that.
Nigga.
Do that 5-second rule. That
Yes,
you
inside the house, not on this deck.
tell Kamari to bring a tip.
No, I'm gonna smoke out that.
Did you spray this off? Because this was like, sort of like on the floor a little bit.
You wanna go get me a tip? Thank you. You goaded for that. We'll get right back into childhood trauma in 2.2 seconds. Those lonely. I wish the off was up there somewhere. What were you saying? God damn it!
It's not lit for your ass to have a fucking tip. How the fuck that wasn't in the rapper?
Girl. I'll put some sort of alcohol disclaimer down to, of course, 21 or older, no drinking and driving. Please no drinking and driving. Please no drinking and driving. I lost a very close family member to a drunk driver. She was just on her way to work. No drinking and driving. I've had my nights where I've done it. It is not safe. It is not okay. Get to a place, have your fun, and stay your ass there. If you drinking, you just stay put. No drinking and driving.
The $1 million question is, where the bag of tips at?
I have to find it. It's in here because I pulled it out.
That box ain't,
I know. I pulled it out
in
somewhere. I think I put it in a drawer. I just have to look for it. But what were you saying? It's okay to talk about childhood trauma.
Oh, it's okay to appreciate trauma. You know, it's not something you can run away from. I think, especially in the black community. I can't speak for no other
Community.
Yeah.
Population of people.
No demographic, whatever, but appreciate it. I appreciate it because it made me the business person I am today. It makes me the woman I am today, the girlfriend I am today, the step parent I am, the sister. Every cap I wear, it has made me who I am, and not it made me who I am in the good and bad ways, but more so the good. But a lot of things that you don't think is childhood trauma, like it really is. Like we think it's the norm, and that shit is not cool.
And then what happens is you get somebody, like you say to me all the time, like we meet each other, we're in this relationship with each other, and we're discovering how different our love languages are and how they are different a lot of times based on how we were raised. Like you know, it's just certain things that Shay does, that's her way of expressing her love, but to me it can sound like she's fussing or arguing, but it's just her trying to push
or all about
me
business,
or push the kids, or push her friends or anybody that's in her life to be like better equipped for things that are like real life.
Yeah.
Like paying bills, having good credit, things like that. So it is, you know, a Libra scale. It's good and bad. It's definitely good and bad. I personally feel like everybody, at least every black person, needs to seek some sort of therapy. Even if you don't feel like there's anything wrong, I feel like it's good to just
Therapy.
have someone that is objective.
Yeah.
Yes, objective, and they're neutral. Like they're not there to judge you. They're not there because they know you. They're not there to get to know you, per se. They're there to help you sort out what has happened to you or what you have lived, and maybe, you know, trauma, and how to use those experiences to push you to be a better person.
And if it's not so much trauma that you need help with, maybe like a life coach. You know, life coach, if you got goals that you, if you're like a person, like you got a lot of goals or dreams, but you need help getting that push, that foot, that whatever it is, you know, a therapist and a life coach are two separate things. So just figure out what's the area of opportunity or the areas that you need work or help in, and seek that.
Yep.
I got a couple of friends I know from back home recently lost their mothers, and I can see their pain. You know, I can see their pain, the things they say, the things they post on social media. And I reached out to them and said, hey, maybe you should seek a therapist. And the two that I reached out to was just like, you know, I just started. And it's like, I was so like, I told Tamiki, I was like, that just was like, it's like, I'm a proud person for someone that's not even in my family, or I deal with every day, or don't have no ties to. I'm just so happy that those two black women went and actually got help before they hit rock bottom, or be so stressed out, depressed, or turning to alternatives to cope with their pain. So yeah, don't, and to be real, y'all, if you work for a company or whatever, you got benefits, majority of the time they will cover some of that expense, if not all, to go seek like mental health services, or they may reimburse you for it, or they may have, like, I worked for a job where they had like virtual mental health, like you can go through them and speak to someone and have it set in your schedule.
Especially now during like the times of COVID. Like if you were born in our era, which most of you are, you know, some of you all may be a little bit older, but you have to think about the amount of things that we have experienced in a short lifespan. Like we joke and call ourselves old and stuff, but we're not, like, we're really not old, right? But we've experienced a lot of shit that would make us think, you know, when we go back to tell our grandkids this one day, you know, they gonna think that, you know, we old as dirt because we lived through fucking 9/11,
the sniper killer,
all these school shootings, the DC sniper,
the war in Iraq,
all of this
coronavirus,
all of this stuff that we've lived through, and all of it, honestly, internet exploding, starting out as a really positive thing, and now a lot of the stuff that's on the internet is really depressing and negative.
Racism,
not really
brutality.
Yeah, being able to kind of separate from that, because it's like you feel like you need it, like you're now addicted to it, so to speak. Like, we've just experienced a lot of stuff in a short amount of time, and to be able to live through that and be on the other side of it and tell that story is going to be fascinating when we tell it in the future. But right now it's tough. And you know, like our counselor, she has told me on several occasions that she sits in somebody's chair as well. Like, she sits and talks to a life coach. She sits and talks to someone that helps her sort her thoughts out, even though she does the same thing for me. She goes and gets massages twice a month. Like, I believe in normalizing that type of stuff for all of us. I'm big on, like, going and getting my pedicures and getting my nails done, and, you know, dressing myself up to make myself feel good, because that's what makes me feel good. So, like, find those things that make you feel good and do that stuff as much as you can, so that it's a way to kind of ease the day in and the day out, the stresses that you have to live. Do things with your kids. Take trips. Like, normalize taking breaks from work. when we was working for the company that we was working for, we worked ourselves to the bone. But what we also did was we utilized that job to do a lot of the things that we wanted to do. And there's still a ton of stuff that we want to do, but we did our best to live our life. And I'm the type of person where I ain't never really cared about like a job. Like, I really wish I could just wake up and be rich because I'm just myself. I'm just Tamikio. But I know it doesn't work like that. But at the same time, I know what I'm not going to let a job or a person push me too far, because I've been there. So, you know, it's about, therapy is not about, oh, I'm sitting down and I got a problem, please put me on medication. Yes. It can be. And that's okay. But as long as you're sitting down and letting someone diagnose you, if there's a diagnosis that's necessary, and seeking the proper treatment. But don't allow the cloud that our people have put on therapy to make it seem like if you sit down on somebody's couch, like you crazy. Yeah. You might feel crazy sometimes. There's plenty of times I done sat down and my therapist said something, and it's like she say one word, it triggers me, and I'm just a bucket of water, and I'm like, man, I just feel like I'm so crazy. But it's not. It's just you needed somebody else to pour that onto, and that's what that person is there for. And she has her sources, her resources, to be able to pour that into somebody else. Because I know there's a lot of people that pour into me. I absorb a lot of people's energy, and
she's an empath.
And I am that type of person where if I can sense pain in somebody, I want to help them.
You gave me the broke chair and this thing sticking me in my back.
I didn't realize it. Actually, I had my water bottle over there, and I had drawers over here, but you went over there. So actually, you gave yourself the broken chair.
Because you know I'm on like the right side. I'm dominant, so I have to be on the right side.
Who said that?
I did.
Who said that?
I did. Who? I did.
Not.
You know, I don't like being on the left side. But yeah. Also realizing that when it comes to our parents, I'm saying parents that's like 50 to 60, they live in a whole different type of environment or society than what we live now. And I had to learn to say my parents or my elders who fit that age range is from a different time. You're not gonna think like we think. Because they're accustomed to their time, and we're gonna be the same way. Like 20 years from now, I'm 30, so 20 years I'll be 50. Your kid's gonna be, I'm like, they're gonna be trying to put me on new stuff, and I'm not gonna be so as open because I knew the period that I grew up in.
Yeah.
So it's like accepting your parents for who they are, where they are. That's my motto. Accept the people for where they are and who they are, and you know, helping people along the way. And if they're not open to or receptive, not being what's the word I'm looking for, not being disappointed or not feeling, even if it's for the better for them, you know, just accepting like, okay, cool, maybe you're not ready, maybe you're not there. If you ever feel the urge, I'm always going to be here for you. Because we tend to just be like, oh, they hard-headed, they ain't listening. At least I know I do. But now I have learned to be like, now I can reflect back. Now I have a little bit years up under me where I can reflect back and be like, damn, there was certain stuff my mom or my dad tried to tell me, and I was a little naive or maybe a little bit hard-headed, or maybe I thought there was a better way to go about doing it, but it was like, no, I should have just did it. But your mental space is not there to comprehend or to feel what they're saying, but being okay that the person is not going to jump on it right away. Yeah. You know. But yeah, man, like I think we have normalized trauma. We've normalized trauma. We've normalized toxicity. It's like it's cool now. It's funny to be toxic. It's funny to be like, well, this is how my mama was, or this is how my daddy was, or you know, this is just how I grew up.
when it's not always conducive to being successful.
But not even that. You know, most of our traits or characteristics is from things from the past generation that they passed on to us. But now we live in a different time, so now we have to get with the times. I remember not being as open to technology. As stupid as it sounds, I hated technology. I didn't want anything to do with the internet. I felt like I wanted to pay my bills. I wanted to go into the spot and pay my bills versus paying online. I didn't have to call in no customer service. But now it's like, and I know it's crazy, y'all. Yes, I know I'm just 30 years old, but that's just from the small town from. I could just easily walk into a place of business that I'm doing business with. Now it's like everything is like, it's not like a central location. It's like call 1-800 number. You may be talking to someone in fucking Japan some damn way. You know, it's just getting with the times.
I agree.
Getting with the times.
I think a lot of us don't realize the abandonment issues that we carry.
Excuse me.
Yeah, the abandonment issues that we carry with us and don't realize that it's abandonment issues. And then when you think back to your parents, like when you really start peeling back the layers, you realize, well, damn, like my daddy's dealing with abandonment issues too.
Yeah.
Or my granddaddy could have possibly been dealing with abandonment issues. And it, to me, I know Shay jokes when I say like it all stems back to slavery, but I think you're starting to like realize a lot of stuff does stem back for our culture. Once again, we can only talk about our demographic. We can only talk about, I feel like it. Yeah,
you might want to put some pants on, knock on wood, because ain't nothing biting me. Not to cut you off, I would just see you feeling on your legs. But Tamika made I like the phrase peeling back the onion. A lot of the issues that we currently have is not the issue we think it is. It's issues from years ago that has built up that you can't see it was that issue from when I was 6 or when I was 10 or when I was 11 or when this happened to me or when I lost that person. You masked it for so long because you didn't know how to cope and deal with it, that you think the issue that you have now is just because of this current issue. No, it's something way back. You know, me and Tamika have realized that.
You was probably about to say the same thing I was about to say.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say me and Tamika have realized that just conflicts we have in our relationship, and it's not really major, but just where we didn't see eye to eye, or she believed one thing and I believe one thing. Like when we got down, when we peeled that onion and got to the center of the core, it was childhood trauma.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with us. It had nothing to do with our relationship directly, like between us. It was just, damn, like
I think
this
we
shit
realized,
really had me thinking this was okay.
I think that our communication styles have been a big issue because we are both very headstrong with the way that we communicate. Like it's in your face. It's boom right there in your face. And a lot of times what I find that we didn't realize with each other is most of the time we be saying the same shit. We just say it differently, and it's like, but I still want you to say it the way that I'm saying it because it makes me feel like you understand it the way that I understand it. And I think that when we really got it, just
I'm not. Look,
it's okay.
Pick that shit up. That's the third one.
I'll put some water on it.
What you say? Pour alcohol on it. Alcohol kills all germs. Pour that Corona on it. But, and also to piggyback off of Tamiko, we're saying the same thing. It's like we're saying the same thing. We mean this. We're saying this. We're meaning the same thing, but we're not actually saying the same thing. So for the other person that's receiving it, they're interpreting it differently than what you're trying to say.
You people, because I'm about to get some off or something.
We got off
somewhere in here, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, communication is a big thing. I get to the point now when Tamika was saying something, I'd be like, so what I'm interpreting is this, and this is what you mean, before I jump the gun and thinking she means something else. And, you know, just a difference in communication styles, that's all.